All right. I'd like to start off by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The Threshing Floor is Almost Ready. This is a title that came to me earlier. I was thinking, along those lines. First, it came, the threshing floor is ready, but it's not quite ready yet, so it's almost ready. So the threshing floor is almost ready. Now, what is a threshing floor? Should be the first question that we should ask. So let's look that up real quick, just to see what a threshing floor is. I wanted to do a little something different, seeing that it's a nice day out here. It's a little windy, but nevertheless, just for a change of scenery, just came out to the park to do the live out here. Threshing floor, a floor or ground area for threshing or treading out grain. And it could also be used for threshing or stomping on grapes. And pretty much what we're witnessing right now is the ushering in of the end of the disciples, which later became apostles, asked Yahushai about, because they understood that once Yahushai went through what he went through, or eventually they got that understanding of it, that the end would come. That's why when he came back from the spirit world, the first question they pretty much asked him was, would thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Because they knew that his suffering that he had to do, being fulfilled, would eventually bring the kingdom of heaven. And this is why we read in the book of Peter, the book of 1 Peter, I believe it's the first chapter, where the prophets, wanted to know what time Yahushua was going to suffer what he was going to suffer, because they knew that after that was glory that was going to come, and that being the kingdom of heaven. So one of the things that the apostles of the Lord asked him was this in Matthew 24:3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Because they understood that there was going to come a particular time when all these things were going to happen. So they wanted to know what's going to take place, how are we going to know the signs of your coming and of the end of the world. Now, you being a person that is not really familiar with biblical terms, you will look at the word in the conventional way as the world looks at it, the word world, the end of the world, the end of existence, the end of humankind, the end of the earth is going to explode and everybody's going to die, just like in Death Star. Well, that's not the case. When we go to the book of Ecclesiastes, and this is why precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. When we go to Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament, chapter 1, verse 4, one generation passeth away and another generation cometh. That's dealing with people on the planet. And the earth was created for man to dwell in. It tells us that in, I believe, the book of Psalms, the 115th chapter, that the Lord created the earth for man to dwell on. So we know that the scriptures say, whatever the Lord doeth, it shall be forever. So what we're witnessing when the Lord created this earth is meant to be here forever, meaning age after age after age, right? It says, but the earth abideth forever. So the earth is always going to be here. The Lord said, whatever he doeth it forever. Nothing can be put to it or taken away. The only thing that can be taken away is whatever the Most High decreed to be taken away. And the one thing that he created that he's going to destroy are the Edomites. That's the only people that the Lord said would be destroyed after they served their punishment. because they were created for the purpose of showing the world what it is to be wicked and what the penalty of being wicked is, because this destruction is going to far outweigh any other destruction on the planet, that anything in history that was written, you know, that is known, from the flood to the deliverance from Egypt, the two greatest events that ever took place on the earth. Those things are going to pale in comparison to this destruction slash deliverance of the elect of the nation of Israel. All right, so it says, so going back to Matthew 24, when it says, what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? When we look up this word world here, in the Greek is the word eon, in the Hebrew is the word iwalam, and in the Latin is the word seclorum, or secular, which all mean an age. Now you have different types of ages, you know. You have an age, like they say, the age of Aquarius, you know. The different so-called zodiac signs have, you know, ages, and those ages, I believe, are 2,000 some odd years. I don't remember the exact time because it's been a while, you know, since I've actually gone over that. You brothers can look it up. What is an age, you know, as far as the zodiac is concerned, or something along those lines. And from one so-called sign to the other, it's about 2,000 some odd years. But an age can also be uninterrupted rule. Like you had the Greek age, or the Greek world. They ruled from around 333 BC, and around 35 BC or so, they were totally amalgamated into the Roman Empire. So that was the age of the Greeks. And then when the Romans came up, which was like one something, somewhere around there, I'm talking about the Edomites. I'm not talking about the Etruscans and the Japhetic, dark-skinned Japhetic nation that ruled Rome in those areas prior to the Edomites getting up into the so-called white man. I'm talking about the Edomite Romans. You know, when they ruled around 96 BC, around there, about almost 100 BC, I'm sorry, AD, that's when that particular Edomite rule fell, from the time when it started to the time that it fell. You know, now when Jake took over, they still held the Roman ways, you know, the Roman laws and all that. So that system of Rome didn't really fully fall till later on. But the Edomite rule, you know, of the ancient Roman Empire fell around 96 BC, after the death of Domitian, which was one of the Flavian dynasty members. You have Vespasian, Titus, and Domitian, you know, and that was the end of the age of the Romans. So then you had the Byzantine Empire, which you had the Byzantine age, and that was for a period of 1,000 years. Then Esau came back into power, you know. So in ages, it also can be an uninterrupted rule. It could be as short as a day, a couple of hours, or it could be as long as 1,000 years, depending on the rule or rulership of that person. So the disciples wanted to know, when is going to be the end of this age? When is going to be the end of this world? Because they understood that what followed after was the age or the world of Yahushai and the Israelites. And that's what they wanted to know that. So what we're witnessing on the earth is the end of the age of Esau, because when you go into 2nd Ezra, the 6th chapter, and it speaks about the end of Esau's world, the Latin word there is seclorum, you know, or secular, seculi, you know, which is an age. So Esau is the end of this age, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows, because the kingdom to come belongs to Yahushai, which is an Israelite of the tribe of Judah, and to the Israelites in general. All right, so this is what we're witnessing. We're witnessing all the pieces and the major players being put in place into the threshing floor, you know, that are about to be stomped like grapes, you know, and that are about to be destroyed. But there has to be one major issue, one major situation that has to take place prior to the end of this age, prior to the end of Esau's age. And what is that? That is the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. And this is why when we look at the news right now, we see the mark of the beast being so prevalent, you know, in the news. You know, the technology that they're pushing, this whole COVID-19, you know, and the medical industry, and pushing for trackers, whatever the hell they call those, pushing for on top of that, 2020, the year of prophecy, which is also the year of census, you know, and that census is what they're using, you know, to see where everybody's at, how many people are around, you know, because not everybody fills that stuff out. So we're slowly pushing towards that, towards the mark of the beast being fully implemented. And once their mark of the beast is fully implemented, then World War III will come, which is pretty much the final prophecy of this world before they go down. Because then after that, the next prophecy would be Yahushua coming back with the angels, destroying Babylon the Great, the land of Israel, and delivering the 1/3 or the elect of the nation of Israel. So we're going to go to Revelation 14 and 6, and you have to pay close attention to what's being said in this chapter, because there's a lot that's being said in this chapter. This is Revelation, and Salaki, you know, I mean, I'm not always super cognizant of the comment board all the time, and especially out here, you know, which on the phone, you know, it's a little harder to see all the comments, you know, because it's plus the sun is out. But if I catch anything on there, you know, Lord's will, I'll read some of the comments. And shalom to the Akim, the sincere brothers, and the Akwath that are out there. Oh yeah, by the way, it's the word for sister is Akwath, and the word for sisters is Akwath. It's the same thing. It's not Akwath yum. Yum at the end of a word is masculine plural. So it's really Akwath, whether it's one sister or you know, more than one sister. So I just want to, you know, put that out there, you know. Just like sometimes brothers say ox, you know, with an S at the end, thinking that that's the plural way of saying brothers, you know. I mean, just a little, you know, little tidbit. But let's go to Revelation 14 and 6, right? I was going to start at the first verse, but that goes into a whole nother topic, you know, and you know, I mean, unless the Spirit has me go back over it, you know, to go into it, because it's very heavy. This is a very heavy chapter. So I just want to hit some points in here to show you. This is the verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth. So what we're preaching is the everlasting gospel, because this gospel, which is the truth, is eventually going to lead to the destruction of this society, and is also going to lead to the salvation of the elect of the nation of Israel. And when you look up the word gospel means good news, euangelion, which euangelion, the EU at the beginning is good, and angelion is where you get the word angel. But it also means messenger, because an angel is a messenger. And you can have a person on the earth that can be known as an angel, which is a messenger, such as Apollyon, you know, which was the angel of the bottomless pit. Pretty much he was the messenger of the bottomless pit. You know, just to give you an example, you have in Malachi, the 3rd chapter, in the 1st verse, it speaks about the messenger of the Lord being John the Baptist, you know, being that messenger. So the word angel could mean the angels in the heavens, celestial beings. It could also be a person on the planet that is a messenger. So the prophets are angels because they are messengers. The teachers of the Lord, you know, the different offices, you know. So euangelion is good news or good message. All right. So they had the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. Now, why did it say that? Because you have First and foremost, you have Israelites among all these nations that will be delivered, but also you also have these nations that have to hear this word, because this is going to be, it's going to sift the nation of Israel from among them, and it's also going to condemn the ones of them that are of these nations. This is the book of Matthew chapter 10 and verse 18. And you shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. Okay, which are, in this case, that's talking about the actual other nations, because we have a testimony against them. So this everlasting gospel that's being preached is a message to the world. Isaiah 34:1 gives you a blueprint of how the Lord told Isaiah to preach to all these different nations of the coming destruction that's coming. And the people that would be in the head position of that would be who? The Edomites, the Idumeans, which is the Greek way of saying Edom. All right. So going back to Revelation 14 and 7, saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High. Now listen close, because you got to remember, we're reading the 14th chapter now. We're reading about, above that, we're reading about the 144,000 that had, you know, this song that no man could learn but the 144,000. Now, prior to this chapter, we read about what? About the beast. We read about how the beast came into power from the beginning to the end. We read of how the one head that was in power during the time of John, the Revelator, John the apostle of the Lord, you know, how they had a wound, and that deadly wound, they pretty much, like, they died for a period of time, but then they came back to life. And we're reading, when they came back to life, there was another beast that came up that was pretty much the same beast as before, and he exercised all that power from the first beast and made an image to the beast, and that image represents the whole structure of how America is running their government, the same way that the ancient Roman Empire ran their government. And that's pretty much that image, you know, the different legislations and the different the bread and circuses and all of that stuff. You know, this is the way that the ancient Roman Empire ran their government. There's a reason why they have a Senate house. That Senate house began with the Romans. The presidency, where they commit their government to one man every year, that came from the ancient Roman Empire. You see? So the same way that they had the image, eventually what happened? It said that that this beast had a mark that he caused all, both rich and poor, rich and free and bond, to receive, right? And that mark, which is the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, that will cement for Esau, anyone that takes it, that they are the ones that are being worshipped. They are the God. They are the ones that are being reverenced. They are the ones that are being looked up to and lauded as being the God of the people that take that mark. So when we read in the next chapter, the 14th chapter, it says, saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High. Because the beast is going to come down, the dragon is going to come down having great wrath, knowing that he has but a short time to establish his new world order. And a part of establishing his new world order, besides making that image, is also to push that mark, which is the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, to make the people subservient to him. And if you go off from their plan, any deviations from their plans, they cut you off. Just like when we went against the Most High and pissed the Most High off, the Most High would cut us off from our benefits. So they're playing the role of a God on the left-hand side, and that mark is the mark, the physical mark of subservience, of total perpetual slavery to this devil. fearing him, that he will cut you off if you don't abide by his rules. So what the Apostle John is saying, or the angel is saying in the 14th chapter, says, saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High. Don't worry about the beast. Don't worry about his mark. Don't worry about his image. Fear the Most High and give glory to him, because everybody's too busy giving glory to Esau and to his world and to his ways and to his technology, which all belong to the Most High anyway. It says, for the hour of his judgment is come. So now the hour of the judgment of the Lord is come. But that hour of judgment cannot come until the mark of the beast is fully implemented. That's why we're reading in the 14th chapter what we're reading. Because this is, you know, the aftermath of and the penalties for those that take the chip, that take that mark of the beast, whether it be in either hand, butt cheek, their thigh, their ankle, their toe, their their thumb, their head, the eye, wherever. You know? So it's saying, fear the Most High and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. Why is the hour of his judgment come? Because he pushed out the mark of the beast. He made it, he implemented it. So we're reading, you know, the part after he causes people to take this chip, right? It says, and worship him that made heaven, and worship him. Worship the Most High. Because when we read the 13th chapter, it speaks about them worshiping the image of the beast. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Right. 12th verse, Revelation 13 and 12. And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and causes the earth and them that dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So pretty much, don't worry about worshiping the beast or his image, because that beast and that image is going to be cast into the lake of fire. You see? Because that image, which is the Roman system, that is a god to the world. And that and the mark of the beast is the way that these devils are causing the whole world to commit fornication, so to speak, because all nations are following in the same path, because they're looking at Esau as a god. But the Most High is the power. It says, going back to Revelation 14, and I'm going to read 7 again, saying with a loud voice, fear the Most High and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen. And when is it fallen? Fallen after they implement that mark of the beast. All right. It says, and this is the destruction of America, so-called Babylon, so-called America, Babylon the Great, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of fornication. So this is one of the reasons why they're being destroyed. And it's also for the controversy of Zion. Excuse me. Allergies are acting up. All right. So let's read on. Salakia. Because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And that's why America is going to be judged. So we're reading about the aftermath that's going to bring in the judgment of the great whore. When they fully push and implement this microchip, which is the mark of the beast. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or his hand. So if any man worship the beast, by what? By taking on their image, by taking on that mark of the beast, you're worshiping another god. And the scriptures say that we have to have no other power before the Most High. That's why it says in the verse 7, worship the Most High. Because he's the one that created the beast. He's the one that got the beast out here doing what the beast is doing. And he's the one that's going to take the beast out. This is his movie. All right? So it says, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, the cup of his righteous anger. Remember, the Most High is livid. He's ready to take this place out. But he's bound by his word. So he can't make a move until his words are fulfilled, because his words don't go out void. And he said that he was going to pour out the cup of his indignation without mixture. Now let's go real quick to Psalms. The brothers already know where I'm going. Psalm 75 and verse 8. It says, for in the hand of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poureth out of the same, but the dregs thereof, all the wicked of the earth shall wring them out and drink them. So these people that take this mark of the beast, they're going to be destroyed, man. And you Israelites out there that take the mark of the beast are going to be destroyed. All right, so let's go back to Revelation 14 and 10. Let's read that again. The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb, because this is what's going to bring in the end. Now this thing is going to move fast, as Elder Pastor has been saying for the longest. Once they push the mark of the beast, which is the microchip, that's when things are going to be moving fast. Because now it's time for the Lord to bring judgment. Because at this point, the people that take that mark pretty much made their choice of who they're going to worship. That's why we read above, it says, worship the Most High. Because those that worship the beast and his image and take his mark are going to be destroyed by the thermonuclear destruction, and also by the lasers that are going to be coming out of the chariots. And don't be surprised if the Most High causes thunderbolts and fire coming out of heaven besides the chariots, the lasers that's coming out the chariots. He did it in Sodom and Gomorrah. This day is going to be horrible, man. And remember, it's the indignation of the Lord, the fiery, righteous anger of the Lord. So he could just well, as the lasers are coming and the missiles are coming, he could also cause fire and thunderbolts to come out of the heavens and jack people up. Just like he did to Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, so let's move on. Verse 11. So in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Because Yahushua and the angels are going to be right there, getting busy, man. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments? From Basra. And Basra is a code name for America. Basra used to be the capital city of ancient Edom. But that, when we read in Isaiah 63, is talking about a future judgment that has not happened yet. So Basra is code for America in the scriptures. Just like Babylon the Great is code for America. Just like Nineveh is code for America. So on and so forth. Verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascended up forever and ever. Why? Because this place is going to burn for a very long time. This is going to be left for a burnt memorial. In either Jeremiah 50 or 51, it speaks about that burnt mountain. This is going to be a memorial for all generations. To see this is the place of wickedness. This is the place where wickedness was found. This is the place that caused the whole earth to be wicked at one time. And look at what happened. Look at the heaps that it's on. You know, look, it's just a flat plain burnt up. It says, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Why? Because this place is going to burn for a long time. It says, here is the patience of the saints. See, here are they that keep the commandments of the Most High Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. Because at the end of the day, you know, this is going to be what's going to set apart the elect from the 2/3 here in America. This is what's going to set apart the elect from the non-elect around the world. The ones that take the mark and the ones that don't take the mark. And if we are part of the elect, guess what? We're not going to take the mark. Anyone that's a part of the elect will not take the mark. Anyone who is not a part of the elect will take the mark. Bottom line. And if you're here on the soils of America, you will be destroyed by those missiles or by the lasers from the chariots. So it says, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, right blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth, yea, save the spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. Yeah, because you have men that have died on this side. You know, some of our elders, some brothers, you know, that passed away in the truth, in the faith, teaching the word. And then there are going to be those that are going to be killed for the witness of this word, of this truth, and for resisting the mark of the beast, you know, for not accepting Esau's ways. And they all will be the first ones to go up into the chariots first. They will be the first to be delivered from this destruction. It says, and I looked, and behold, a white cloud, which is a chariot, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, which is Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Shai is on this white cloud, this chariot. It says, having on his head a golden crown. Why? Because he got the victory, but now he's about to take all these nations down and take their crowns, so to speak. It says, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Now, what is a sickle? A sickle is an instrument to, when the harvest is ripe and you're ready to cut things down, you use that sickle, which is shaped like a half moon with a handle on it, and you're cutting down the wheat or whatever it is you're cutting down because it's ripe. So this is code or parabolic talk for the destruction, and how all of the grapes and things of that nature are being gathered into this floor. And this floor, once it starts getting stomped, symbolically that's the blood of the people being shed, but it's also going to be that lake of fire that the scriptures speak about. Because this floor isn't going to be stomped with people's feet and save the grapes saved and the juice from the grapes saved. No, this is going to be stomped and destroyed. This is a different type of threshing. And that's why it speaks of in the book of Matthew, the 13th chapter. Matter of fact, let's get there real quick. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 38. And it says, spare me 1 second. And it says, the field is the world. Matter of fact, I started at 37. He answered and said unto me, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man, which is Yahweh Shai. The field is the world. So the whole world is the field. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, because you have the Israelites, which are the children of the kingdom. You know, but in this time here in America, 2/3 of Jacob are not going to make it, only 1/3. It says, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. You see? So that's Esau. It says, the enemy that sowed them is the devil. Because you have those Israelites, those Edomites out there that look like Israelites, because they mingled their seed with the women of Israel. It says, the harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. So the angels are coming to take into the barns those that are part of the elect, and stomp, you know, in the threshing floor, those that are not part of the elect. And also the Edomites and the other nations. because you got all nations here in America. It ain't just Jake here. You got Moab, you have Elam, you have Ishmael. You know, you have all the nations here. The Ammonites, all the ites are here. All the Israelites are here, and all the rest of the ites are here from the other nations. Isaiah 26:20. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers. What are the chambers? The chambers are the chariots, because that's where the deliverance and salvation is going to take place in. And Elder Apostle Tahar told us that his woman had a vision of the chariots, and she said that they were decked out. So you could imagine the opulence, I guess, is the best word I could use to describe it. How bad the chariots are, man. You know? And pretty much in Revelation 11, it speaks about the chariot. You know, so pretty much, you know, as Elder Apostle Tahar spoke about, which I concur with it, because the scriptures say it, that we will be delivered into one chariot, one humongous chariot. You know, and that's why the chariot that Yahushua is coming is going to be as big as a mountain, because it makes sense that all the elect will be delivered into that chariot. You know, it makes sense. I mean, it remains to be seen, but it makes sense, because that chariot is going to be so big, it's going to be beaming up Israelites from all over the earth. They could just possibly go into that one chariot. You know, and then you have the other chariots that's going to be getting busy and shooting lasers and tearing shit up. So it says, come, my people, enter down into thy chambers and shut the doors about thee, just like during the time of Noah. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed, meaning the righteous anger of the Lord. That's why it speaks about the day of the Lord being like an oven. This place is going to get roasted, man. And that's a fitting judgment for this place, for the disdain that they have for the laws of the Most High, for the audacity that these devils have to call themselves Christians, to call themselves Bible-fearing so-called Christians, and yet everything in the Bible they go against. They make you swear in on the Bible. They make the president swear in on the Bible. But when he swears in on the Bible, they said, do you swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States? But wait a minute. Why not swear on the Constitution? Why are you swearing on the Bible but saying that you're going to uphold the Constitution of the United States? What happened to the Bible? And why are you making us swear on the Bible? But yet, to the world, you're telling people that the Bible is a fairy tale book. But you know that there's power in that book. That's why Carnegie in the book of Eli was saying that. There's power in that book. People will believe it if it says it in the book. You know? So that's what they use it for. They use it for the power. But they don't practice the laws, statutes, and commandments that are in there. That's what the Lord said unto the wicked. What he said, what has thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hateth instruction. Excuse me. And casteth my words behind thee. Okay. Moving on. So let's see, where we at. Verse 21. It says, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood, and shall no more cover her slain, because the Lord is going to be the one to bring the judgment. That's why he said he will not at all acquit the wicked. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments? This that is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the brightness of his strength, or the strength of his brightness, or something along those lines. That's going to be a beautiful day, you know? And this is what we're waiting for, that so that we can be delivered. That is our hope. Deliverance. Yeah, it's going to be hard, but guess what? Once the hardship is past, then comes the kingdom. That's where the mending takes place. You know? So the sooner they do it, the better. Just get it over with. Sometimes the anxiety of waiting for it is worse. You know, because not, you know, like when Yahushua was in the Garden of Gethsemane, that anxiety that he had, you know, because he wanted it to pass, you know, and be able to do it another way. But what he told Judas is what thou doest, do it quickly. You know why? Because just get it over with. Because once it's done, it's done. It's already written what each one of us is going to go through. So just get it over with. Do what you got to do so that the Lord can step in, which is the Most High working on the left-hand side anyway. You know, that's why, you know, this, you know, we believe that this thing is not going to stop, this COVID thing. You know, this is the perfect opportunity. They got people, you know, in the trick bag. You know, and every day that goes by, these people are being trained more and more into this new way of thinking, this social distancing and all that. It's going to come to a point you're not going to be able to walk down the street holding your lady. Because they're going to hit you with a ticket or throw your ass in jail for breaking the social distancing rule. Forget about a kiss in public. These devils, man, they're too much, man. They're just too much. They just got to do, the Lord got to make them do what they got to do so that the Lord can do what he got to do. Oh, man. Oh, Lord. Let's see where we at now. Now, let's go back to Revelation 14. And we left off at 14. And I looked, and behold, a white cloud, and upon the cloud one sat like unto the Son of Man, which is Yahushai. That's a chariot, having on his head a golden crown, and in his hand a sharp sickle. Why? Because it's time for the threshing. Verse 15. And another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap. You sow, meaning you plant, you reap. You pluck. It's time to sow. The time of sowing is over. Now it's about to be time for the reaping, because what was sown is almost ripe. It's just there, just about there. Just like the Lord told Abraham that the land he was going to give him, he couldn't give it to him yet, because the people that were going to come out of him were going to become a great nation. They were going to serve for 400 years. And the people that were in that land, the Canaanites, their iniquities hadn't reached the ripening stage yet. So once their iniquities reached that ripening stage, then it was time for them to be plucked out of there. That was the time to sow. So we're coming into the time that was the time to reap. So we're coming into the time of reaping. I got this this squirrel that keeps looking at me. It says he's coming over here now. It says, and another angel came out of the temple, crying with a loud voice to him that sat on the cloud, thrust in thy sickle and reap, for the time has come for thee to reap, for the harvest of the earth is ripe. So it's time now. The harvest of the earth is ripe. It's time for this devil to go down. You know, it's time for this wickedness to be put out. It's time for, you know, all iniquity to be put down finally. Because, you know, you have the beginning of a thing and you have an ending of a thing. The better is the ending of the thing than the beginning. And we're coming down to the ending. We're damn near at the stage of the credits about to roll. You know, the very end of the movie, before, you know, when the movie ends and the credits start rolling, that's the point that we're at right now. Just about there. That's what Yahushua said. When you see these things, know that I am close, even at the door. So going back, verse 16, and he that sat on the cloud thrust in his sickle and on the earth, and the earth was reaped. And another angel came out of the temple which is in heaven, he also having a sharp sickle. Because the angels, along with Yahushua, excuse me, are going to get busy. They're going to get busy, man. It says, and another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire. Because this is how America, Babylon the Great, is going to be judged, by fire. Remember, the Lord made the rainbow, which these devils took and made a homosexual symbol out of it, which that's a holy symbol of the Lord. The rainbow, which was a covenant, an agreement that the Lord would no longer again destroy the earth by way of the flood of water. But he never said anything about a fire. And that's why it's the fire, or the lake of fire, is the second death. That's the second judgment upon the earth. And these devils took the Most High's holy symbol and turned it into a homosexual symbol, man. These devils are nothing but a bunch of goddamn blasphemers, man. They gotta go. They gotta go. Ain't nothing holy in their sight. Then they turn around talking about, in God we trust. What God are you talking about? Verse 18, and another angel came out from the altar, which had power over fire, and cried with a loud cry to him that had the sharp sickle, saying, thrust in thy sharp sickle, and gather the clusters of the vine of the earth, for her grapes are fully ripe. So whenever you are ready to make wine, you will go to the vine and get the most ripest of those grapes, to put them into that threshing floor, or into that tub, or to whatever it was you put it in, to start stomping them to make the wine. But these grapes is talking about the people on the planet that are destined and marked to be destroyed in this wine, in this fire. It says, and the angel thrust, because remember it said that the angel had power over fire. And the angel thrust in his sickle into the earth, and gathered the vine of the earth, and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of the Most High. So the land of Israel is going to be totally destroyed. We know that. But this right here, this motherfucker right here, America, Babylon the Great, this is going to be where the party's going to be at for these people. You want a party, you're going to get a party. You're going to get some serious fireworks for your ass. You want to do whatever you want to do. You want to lay down with men, men with men, women with women. You know, you want to be adulterers. You want to eat whatever the hell you want, abomination you want to eat. You want to do whatever the hell you want to do as long as it feels good. Well, guess what? There's a party coming for you. It's called the Lake of Fire party. And guess what? It's going to be on live on the web. Like right now, you got live DJs, you know, virtual DJs and all that, doing parties and concerts from their homes because of the quarantine. Well, there's going to be a serious virtual party going on in America when the Lord destroys this place by thermonuclear destruction. And it's going to be viewed by all nations on the planet. And the merchants are going to wail because they can't sell here, but the whole world is going to see your devastation here. How about that? You want a party? Hey, the Lord's going to give you a party. And he's going to give you a party by one of the most inspirational things on the planet. Fire. And the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress even unto the horse's bridle by the space of 1,600 furlongs. So pretty much, in other words, the Lord is going to destroy this place. There's going to be a certain number of people that's going to be destroyed. And you have 5,000 square, 5,000 square miles of America, 3,000 from east to west, and 2,000 from north to south. So you're finished, man. The judgment is already set. Only thing that needs to happen is we're in the sentencing stage. Only thing that needs to happen is the judgment to be fulfilled. And once, as we read, that once they implement that mark of the beast, that's when the fireworks begin after World War III. You know, so we're very close, man. We're right at the door, man. The Lord is this place is ripe. It's time to thresh. All they got to do is push that mark of the beast, which is the microchip, and that would set the clusters of the wine to the ripest that they will ever get. And after that comes the threshing, you know, the reaping, when Yahweh and the angels come and destroy this place, you know. So the name of this one has been the threshing floor is almost ready. So we're almost at that point. All they got to do is push that mark of the beast to make it mandatory. And this legislation that they got going on could very well be what does that. That HR 6666. You see how they go into people's homes and forcibly removing them to take them to these places to get tested. And you notice not one of them cops on there, not one of them had a mask, not one of them had protective gloves. The people they came to get were in their homes, so you know they're not going to be wearing no mask, you know. And the dog knew when they was about to roll on his masters, because he started raising up, because he felt, you know, that the spirit raising up in them pigs, because they was about to get nasty. But the dude complied, you know. So these dogs, the scripture said, they shall be like madmen, sparing none. Because these cops, the majority of them are nothing but copper tops. They do as they're told. They don't question anything. Is this right? Is this wrong? We swore to uphold the Constitution. Isn't this infringing on the people's rights? The majority of them don't think like that. You have a few that do, but the majority don't think like that. The scripture says they shall be like madmen, sparing none. And this whole COVID thing got people so twisted and messed up, and they're not breathing right because they're wearing a goddamn mask all day. They ain't getting enough oxygen to the brain, so these people are bugged out. You know, like when I go to the supermarket, you know, you see the people like bugging out. I mean, I always kept, you know, whenever I go anywhere, I always kept my distance from people anywhere. We loved it when we went somewhere and the fucking restaurant was empty, you know, or the park was empty, or wherever. So we always did that, you know. But these people, you see them like breaking their neck trying to, you know, not to get too close to people, you know. So this place is finished, man. One day a real rain is going to come through here and wash all this filth away. That's from the movie Taxi Driver with Robert De Niro. You know, all these queers and fairies and all that, you know, these butch women, and, you know, just in general, everybody in general that ain't right with the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So with that, you know, I pray that your brothers have been edified. The water for the precepts, you know, Salaki, I didn't get a chance to read any of them, but I appreciate you brothers, you know, coming on the comment board and putting them precepts up and scriptures and staying on topic, not talking about, you know, what you're going to do later on and, you know, get together, this, that, the other. Staying on topic, man, because this, what you learn here can save your life. That's from, I believe, I mean, I ain't quoted correctly, but I believe that's from Officer and the Gentleman. If I'm not mistaken, with Lou Gossett Jr. and this other devil, Richard Queer. Richard Gere, we call him Richard Queer. All right, so with that, I pray that your brothers have been edified. To the next time I say shalom.